Alright, multimedia, week 3. Finally, we've made all of our assets. Now we get to actually animate it. This will be a little bit more fun, and I think you'll be happy with the results. Okay, so you can either start from the one you have, but there'll be the materials. You'll see it right where this video is, and it'll be posted other places. You're going to unzip it, and you're going to see two files. You'll see an audio clip, and you'll see the Adobe Animate file. Okay, so I like that it's still .fla for Flash. I think they would change it, but really not. So. Alright, it's going to open up, and you will see that we have all of our lib pieces here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Up. And I'm going to click on this and drag it up so I can see all my layers. And I'm just going to control minus so I can see all my pieces. And what we're going to do is I'm going to animate the background first. Then we'll do the foreground stuff. Okay, then we'll do the character. Should be relatively simple. Alright. So, we got the background here. For whatever reason, when I made them, put them in the layer stuff, you can see they got out of order. So it should be the clouds, trees in the back. Then it should be building, then Cecil wall, then ground. Should be like that. Great. Now what I want to do is this. I want to change the depth of these. So I'm going to click on this, or it's over here too. And so the idea is that I'm going to put these on different planes. And then when I move the camera, you'll get what we call parallax. Right? So yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, back in the day, Disney, what they used to do is they would put their cells of animation on multiple layers, and then they would turn them at different speeds to give the illusion of depth. If you play old, like, 8-bit games, they used to do that all the time for the backgrounds. That's basically what we're going to do. We're just going to basically push these depth-wise, and it will give the illusion of it having depth when we move the camera across the screen. So, clouds tree the farthest back, so I'm just going to go ahead and do 500. That's what I did. Actually, let's do 750. We're going to do the building. I'm going to do 500. And you can see we're pushing them back. There's the camera there. And then we'll do the wall, will be 250. And then the ground will just be 0. Now, what you're going to notice is this. Actually, let's undo that. Let's maintain size. Oops, okay. Let's see if this will work. 500. Okay, good. Click on maintain size first, because that way, normally I end up having to do is scale it afterwards. This way I don't have to scale it. And then it will be, what was it? Oh, I'm sorry, not 500. It was 750. And then we'll do 500. And then 250. Crap. Make sure you click on maintain. I guess you gotta do it each time. 500. Click on this one. Maintain size. 250. Not 205, 250, and then the last one will be there. Okay. Good. Now what I'm going to do is, we're done with that guy. I'm actually going to scale these a little bit so that we can get a better panorama. So if I make some of these things a little bit smaller, it's actually going to help a little bit. Or bigger or what have you. So like the clouds, trees, I'm going to go to my select tool here. Right now everything's locked, so I'm going to unlock the background folder, and then it unlocks everything underneath it. So I'm going to go to the clouds trees here, and I am just going to scale this much bigger. Well, not much bigger, but a little bit bigger, and pull it up so that we can see it. It'll just help give us some depth, okay? That one's fine. That's actually not really going to move much anyway. Then the building, I'm actually going to make this a bit smaller. So pull this down a little. And actually, let's do this before I move. I'm going to undo, Control Z. I'm just going to snap it down here so that way it scales from the bottom. And we'll go like... We'll say like that. I'm going to take the Cecil wall here and just go like, not that far. Go here. And I'm just going to go ahead and scale this down. Make sure when you're scaling it that you're holding shift as you do it so it stays proportionate. And I don't know how big it was. So I'm just going to scale it down a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of put it up and over a little. And then the ground, because I want to pan a lot, the ground's going to move the most. The sky's going to move the least, this will move the second least, third least, and this moves the most. So this actually I want to scale considerably more. So let's control minus, And I don't really care about this being proportionate, other than let's put this at the top so that way it scales from the top down. I'm not getting messed up with the... So we're just going to give it more. Let's just go ahead and push this down a little. Oops, back up. Okay. Just want to make sure we have plenty of... one more up. Okay. Might need to adjust it a little bit afterwards, you'll see. But this at least gives us a little bit of a start here. You know what? I want to scale this way a little bit. I want to make sure I have enough ground. Because I want him walking on the pathway, and I need to make sure that the pathway is visible. So I'm just going to scale it down this way. All right. Good. So that's looking pretty okay. And now here's going to be like the magic sauce that's going to make it look kind of cool. We're going to click on the camera here. And now the camera's going to come up. And what you're going to do is we're going to put the camera to the left. It's kind of weird because it's the opposite. Normally you hold spacebar and you click and drag, and that's how you move the thing. But we're moving the camera, not the scene. Trust me, every time I do this, I do it wrong. See if I do it right when I first click. And I went the right direction. So what I want to do is basically, we're going to start over on the left-ish, okay? Oh, actually, let's undo that real quick. What I'm going to do is I'll make this 10 seconds. We're going to make a 10-second clip. So I need to, at the end here, make 10 seconds. So I'm just going to go this direction. If you just click and drag, it will give you to the 10 seconds. Okay. Or you can drag this, I guess, too. That'd be easy. So right where it says 10 seconds, I'm going to go right here. And for the camera, I want to make it so that there is frames in there that go for 10 seconds. I want it to hold for 10 seconds. So you're going to go there, and you can right-click if you want, and then you go Insert Frame. And then I'm also going to do this for these elements here. So I'm going to click and drag down all these single ones, right-click and hold, Insert Frame. Or you can just hit F5. I'll probably hit F5 from now on, but if you don't like hitting F5, okay, good. So now we have those are extended the whole time. We'll do the cone in a second. That one's going to be a little bit different. Okay. So we have that. The other thing I need to do is this. So right now they're holding. It's just that drawing being held for that long. I want to make it so that they actually, you can put keys on there so that it can be tweened, okay? So these are just one picture being held for a long period of time. I need to change these spans in here to allow them to be tweened. So there's a couple different options. So what I want to do is on the camera one, just right click over top of this, and then you'll see classic, motion, and shape. Shape only works on drawings, not symbols actually, and it's a little wonky, so I don't usually use it. We want to do the motion tween. Classic tween is obviously the older one. It works good for certain things, but I think motion tween is a little more like closer to what the rest of the industry is doing. So we're going to pretty much use the motion one. And we're going to do the same thing here. So just click and drag across like that. Right click and just go create motion tween. Apply to some of the select frames because whatever. So, and let's see. Create motion tween. Okay. Well, we don't need to tween. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Good. So we're not actually going to animate any of these anyway. So anyway, so now these all have motion tweens. The only one that actually needs it is the camera. But if I do want to adjust this, I have the option. So we want to have our starting position. So I'm going to drag this time slider all the way to the left until I get to frame 1. So I'm going to have the camera start at the left basically and move across. Okay, or this way, whatever makes sense. I don't know. Might be okay. So I'm gonna click and drag with the camera tool still on. And we'll start kind of low, maybe. Okay, like that. Then you're going to go all the way to the end. Okay. And then I want you to click and drag to like that. And you'll see it automatically makes a little diamond for you. So it auto keys. Once you have a first key, and it automatically did that, whenever you have a drawing, as soon as we made a motion tween, the first one becomes a key. It will automatically it'll auto key from there on. Okay. So now what I'm going to do actually is this. Actually, I think I don't want to have those key. So let's just click and drag, and we're going to remove these motion tweens that I put on here either. So let's just go right click on it and just go remove motion tween. So you need to remove them, that's how you do it. I'm just going to go here, and I'm just going to restack these in position to make sure that it's just this one, I think. That's the only one that's, okay, good. All right, so now, just so you can test it, if you hit Control Enter, it's going to give you a preview Swift movie, which Swifts are kind of worthless at this point. We used to use them on the internet as plugins, but you can see you can see now we have a little bit of parallax, right? So it gives the illusion of a camera moving across, right? It's a nice kind of clean little look to it. It's nice, right? It's pretty easy. All right. Now we're going to bring this up one more notch, and the way we're going to do that is this. We have this object here, the building, right? So the building, if you remember, we made it, this is a symbol, but it's made of symbols. So I'm going to open this building up by just double-clicking on it. And now we are in its thing. And if you remember, this is actually a movie clip symbol. So it has its own timeline. So I'm going to animate over 10 seconds, just like the thing that it's in, it turning. Okay? So first things first, what I need to do is I need to select all the layers, and you can see they're all on one layer. They each need to have their own layer, so select them all, right click, and just go on Distribute to Layers. And now they'll all be on their layers, and I'm just going to delete layer 1 because that's what they were all on originally. So just click on it, hit the little garbage button, boom. Alright, and what we're going to do is I'm going to drag this over to 10 seconds. Where are you, 10 seconds? Right, I'm going to click and drag down like this, and then right click and hold. Now let's try that again. Right click and hold, and okay, there it goes. And you just want to insert frame. You can also just literally select them and then just hit F5. That's what I'm using. Okay, so now they're extended that far. So now that drawing is held for 10 seconds. This didn't need to happen because what happens is in here, in the scene, it replays the clip over and over and over and over again, however many times it is. So if this thing's clip was only one frame originally, whoops, that was the lawn. Hang on a second, sorry. If this was only one frame originally and it was just the picture, it's just going to play that one picture. So it wasn't like it was going to, after it goes past one frame, I mean, you saw it. It's not going to like not do anything, okay? But now we're holding this also to 10 seconds, which is the same as the stage. And so now it's going to play this animation inside of the other one. But we don't have any motion tween yet. So just click across it, right click, and create and hold, create motion tween. Okay. Great. Now we have that going on. So the first position is already there, and that looks fine. I want to start it like, it's really slow, start it like this, but then I'm going to have it basically sort of reveal the front, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is grab this wall, and I'm going to use my free transform tool, the Q button, take my pivot, and I need to put the pivot right here, right on that side, so that way it'll squeeze to that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to squeeze it like this. About that much is fine, okay? So if we look at it, you're going to see it's going to look like this, okay? I'm going to take this one, again, move this one's pivot this to the center, and let's get a little closer so I can see this a little bit better. Make sure it's right there, and then I'm going to pull this one out, like that. And just to give you an idea, so I'm gonna pull this back here. I'm just gonna go to the end here. I'm just gonna hit enter. Enter is the play button. You can also hit play right here. It's on that now, but you'll see it's going to look like, it's gonna give the illusion of rotating. Kind of see what I'm saying? And we're just gonna basically move everything else to more or less support that. Okay, just sort of a cheat, but you can kind of see how it looks like it's rotating. It's a neat little thing, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do the front back wall. And again, move its pivot to here. And it's got to go, I actually have to move it. I'm just using the arrows, shift and then arrow keys to move it over. And then just use the arrow keys to get it farther. Okay, and then I'm just going to have this get a little bit bigger. It's not going to get that much bigger. I'm just going to have it get a little bit bigger. Okay. That's fine. Now let's grab this one, in this one's pivot, I am going to put here. Okay? And what I'm going to do is shear it like this. Okay, so I grab this part here. You can see it's shearing. And then I'm going to scale it up a little bit. And then let's shear it back a touch. Scale it a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go ahead and move it as well. Just going to try and get it to fit. It's not going to be perfect. It's just what it's going to be. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab this one. Kind of do the same thing. We'll take this one and we'll put the pivot right here. And we're going to scale this one in. And I'm going to shear it a little bit that way. Scale this back out a little bit. Okay. And that should hopefully, so you can see, right? Looks like it's turning. Pretty cool, right? Okay. And then it's just this one, and this one's pretty easy. I already put the pivot there. So we're just going to move this guy all the way over. I'm just holding shift and using the arrow keys. And this one, if we were going that way, I don't know, I guess it would, on the one hand, get bigger because it's turning this way, but on the other hand, it gets smaller. So I guess I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. Go like that. That's fine. Okay. Alright. Good. So now what I want to do is that building is done. So you're going to, we're going to click on scene to back up. Now, the one thing that's kind of annoying inside of here is that you can't actually see the animation of this. I don't know if you can tell, but you don't actually get to see the symbols animation. That if it's an animation that's nested inside of a symbol, you don't see it now. You actually have to preview it. So I'm going to hit Control Enter. And I'll be able to see it's sort of looking like it's rotating. That's pretty good, right? It's a pretty good fake, if you will. All right. So I'm just going to close out of that. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to animate the sign just to make it look a little bit more like it's also turning, which will be pretty easy. So I'm going to go to the Cecil wall here and just double click on it to go inside of its symbol. Now this one's actually, it's that symbol that I did when I made the drawing, and it's just a drawing. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to click and drag across it and just right click and go distribute to layers. And then again, click on this and delete that layer. And we will go to layer, this one here, that's the one with the drawing. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to 10 seconds, click and drag, and we're just going to hit F5 to extend. And then the bottom one I'm not going to animate, so I don't need to do anything with that. But the top one, I'm going to go ahead and do right click over top of that span and just do create motion tween. Okay, so now it's got the keys. So this is going to be a little bit different. I actually want it to more or less end up here. So for this, what I want you to do is we're going to hit F6. F6 is keyframe or key pose when we're in motion tween. Okay, so you'll see it put a little diamond. So it's going to key its current position. Now I'm going to go to the beginning of this, and I'm actually going to kind of squish it and move it over. Okay, so we'll grab this. Make sure you got your select tool here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the pivot over here. And I'm going to squish it a little bit. And maybe shear it up a little bit. And then at the end, I'm going to go to the end here. And then this one, I want it to kind of move over too. So it looks like it's, and then make sure that I'm going to shear it down a little. That. Okay. It looks kind of weird here. It'll make more sense when we actually play it. Alright. Good. So, I'm going to save this. So I'm just going to Control S. Let's do a Control Enter. Let's just see what we got. So you can see how it doesn't look so weird now having that sign go across. Now it looks more like it's rotating with it. but you can definitely get an illusion of it moving, right? So it's pretty cool. All right. I'm going to do one other thing, and then we'll end this video. So the last thing I want to do is I'm going to create a new layer, and we're just going to call this one audio. And I'm going to file, import, and we'll import to the library. I always like to do the library. Select the audio, and I just grabbed it from Incompetech, which is like, it's like a guy, he makes all these different like ambient music. Like, it's good for like video games and movies and things like that, and he just gives them for free. You can pay for them. You're not allowed to make any money off of them or anything like that, but this is an educational atmosphere, so it's fine. So then you can see right here the audio clip. I'm just going to click and just drop it onto the stage. Just make sure that audio layer is the one that you're currently on. So obviously I don't see anything, but you can see that the audio layer is right here, and now you can see this little wave. And if you want to do any adjustments, you click on the first frame, probably click on any frame, go properties, and then you can see sound, and it says the name of it. If you want to do some sort of effect, we're not really doing anything with that. It's going to repeat. Really isn't many more options than that. I mean, if you're going to do anything with the audio, you got to go clip that somewhere else, okay? So, but now if I were to hit Control-Enter, you'll see that it's playing, okay? So I'm going to save that. We're going to get done with this video, and in the next one, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to animate the guy basically walking up, and, you know, the more you know, all right?